Hey everyone, welcome back to Chisom's Code, the place where young, upcoming tech professionals like you get the roadmap to break into the tech industry. With or without a computer science degree or years of experience. I'm so excited that you are here. If you are feeling overwhelmed or confused of where to start in your tech career, this is the right place for you. I was in that exact positions few years ago, but today I'm breaking it down for you. In this video, I'll be sharing 5 in-demand tech skills you can start learning right now in 2025 to land your first role. Whether you want to freelance, land a remote job, or get into a startup company, these skills are your foundation. And the best part is that most of them can be learned for free. So stick around, take notes, and let's dive into it. HTML, hypertext markup language, is what gives structure to your web pages. Headings, paragraph, image, links, buttons, all defined by HTML. CSS, cascading style sheets, make things look beautiful. Think color, spacing, animation, and all the aesthetic stuff that turns a boring page into a real website. And the interesting thing is, you don't need to be a genius to learn this. In fact, platforms like Codecademy, MDN Web Docs, and Front End Mentor are amazing places to start learning. What can you do once you have learned HTML and CSS? JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language used to create interactive effects within a web browser. It allows developers to make a web page dynamic, such as updating content without reloading the page, handling users' input, and controlling multimedia. So, what can you do if you have learned these 3 skills? Firstly, you can build and host your own portfolio website, get freelance gig for small businesses, and apply to a junior front-end developer job. And here is a pro tip. Within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent practice, you can already build landing pages and add these projects to your GitHub, and boom, your portfolio starts growing. Now, you have built the website, but where does the data go? Now, let's talk about databases. SQL, which means a structured query language, is a tool we use to interact with the data. Every app you've ever used stores data somewhere, whether it's your Instagram likes or your Amazon purchase history. That data is in a relational database. What is an SQL or a database actually used for? Firstly, it is used to find information from tables, combine data using joins, create and update a database. Imagine working in data analysis, business intelligence, or a back-end development. SQL is a must-have skill. So, these are my recommendable resources for you to learn SQL as a beginner. You can begin by learning from W3 schools, where you'll be taught the foundation of SQL and database, and also Mode Analytics SQL tutorials. These tutorials will break down the building blocks for you to understand how SQL works and how the database is being managed. Here is a pro tip. Learn to build and query a database using PostgreSQL or MySQL on your local machine. Now, you have written some code and stored some data. How do you keep it safe, organize, and track your changes? Now, let's talk about Git and GitHub. Git and GitHub is a version control tool used to track your changes in your code. Git helps you track every change you make in your code. Whether you have accidentally broken something in your code, GitHub or Git gives you the opportunity to retrace your step and track back and see where the problem or the issue came in. Whether you're working on a team project or a personal project, GitHub lets everybody collaborate as a team without stepping on each other's toes. GitHub is sort of a social media for developers. It's where your projects live online. And here's another interesting thing. Hiring managers tend to take your GitHub profile prior to checking your resume. This is because they want to understand the open source project you've worked on, and also to understand whether you're a team player and if you are capable of working on multiple projects. And here are some pro tips for you to understand the GitHub. Firstly, start by creating a GitHub repository to upload and post all your GitHub projects. Secondly, use the clear commit message to add and make changes to your GitHub projects. And lastly, add a readme.md to explain what your project does and how it works. Try and get comfortable with merging, pull requests, and branches, especially if you are working on a team project. Alright, now that you are building, storing, and managing your code, let's take it further with one of the best beginner programming language, Python. Python is hands down one of the best beginner programming language. It is simple, versatile, and is used in almost in every tech industry, from web development to data science and to automation. Start with simple scripts, for example, automating renaming a file in a folder, or writing a script to check if a website is online. Once you have mastered and learned the basics of variables, loops, and functions, you can up your level into web development with Flask and Django, data analysis with Pandas and Matplotlib, and last but not the least, automation with Selenium. And after learning all these skills, these are the project ideas you can start up with. You can start by building a to-do list CLI app, analyzing a CSV file with Pandas, and creating a weather checking app using an API. And here's a pro tip: focus on solving real-world problems. Or you can build tools for yourself or for your friends, because the more practicals you do, the better. Learning a syntax is great, but the difference between a coder and a developer is the ability to solve problems. So now, let's talk about algorithm. The reality is, tech company doesn't just want someone who can write code. They want actual people who can come into the team and solve problems. That's why learning how to approach algorithm is so important. This doesn't mean you have to be a genius or a lead code master. This means you should be able to, firstly, understand the problem, break the problems into smaller parts, write a step-by-step logic, and lastly, test and debug your code efficiently. After learning this, you can start by solving problems like reversing a string, checking if a number is prime, finding the max value in a list. If you are finding it difficult to find where to learn algorithm, these are one of the best platforms out there for you to start with. Firstly, you can start with LeetCode, which is a beginner-friendly platform for you to understand algorithm and how it works. Secondly, HackerRank, which is a very good beginner-friendly platform for you to understand algorithm. And last but not the least, CodeWars, which is also a very good platform to understand algorithm. Spend 20 minutes a day on this. You'll get better at thinking like a developer, which is the real secret sauce. Now that you've known what to learn, let me show you how to start the smart way. Now let's recap. Start by learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which is the building blocks of how web development works. Use SQL to query and store your data. Use Git and GitHub to manage and store your projects. Learn Python to automate and build apps. Practice algorithm to build and develop your problem-solving skills. There are tons of resources out there for you to learn as so much as possible. And I know at a point you might kind of feel overwhelmed with all the resources out there, but you need to take it slow and easy as possible. Don't learn everything at once. Pick a skill, learn, build a project from it, and move to the next skill. I'm working on a free PDF roadmap with this exact breakdown. If you want it, make sure to subscribe and I'll make it available in the next video. And if you have watched this video to this point, thank you so very much. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with as many of your friends as possible. This is Chisom's Code. Let's code, grow, and conquer together.